discuss this later. You hate her.
I'm not a hater.
Just fix
What you
you
fail to
LeBron
understand
hater.
is
You're a LeBron hater.
No, I'm not.
You're a LeBron hater.
What you fail to understand is the team didn't re-sign those
You a
players.
LeBron hater. My husband is a LeBron hater, y'all.
No, I'm not.
He's a hater.
I'm just pointing out facts that she don't understand.
No. All I need to understand is that he a hater. Like you can't say anything positive about LeBron.
I can. He's one
without him coming back with a negative, right?
No, that's
and
not it.
And then you can take the same thing and say it about Michael Jordan. He makes that into a positive.
So listen. So we didn't know what we was going to talk about because we're celebrating our anniversary, right? So since she want to
bring in the car all day, y'all. So
y'all gotta excuse us. So since she brought that up, I'm not a LeBron hater.
You are
right. So what we're discussing is this. They're talking about the argument is every time LeBron left a team, they went back to the lottery. When Michael Jordan when Michael Jordan retired, his team almost made it back to the championship. Mm-hmm. So my outlook on that is this. When LeBron left that team, his teams, they only returned 3 to 5 players from the year when LeBron was there. Like the first time when he left, they had Shaq, Ilgauskas, Varejao, Mo Williams, all of them players. And all of those players left when LeBron left to go to Miami. They had 4 returning players from when LeBron was there.
I just can't with him.
Hold on. So the point I'm trying to make is they brought in a whole new team. So of course they're going to be a bad team and with no superstars. When Mike retired and Chicago almost made it to the championship, those players that was playing with Mike were still under contract. So because they were under contract, Mike's whole team came back minus Mike. So they almost made it to the championship. So they were a better team, but they couldn't win the championship without Mike. His whole team came back. Same thing happened in Miami. When LeBron left Miami to come back to Cleveland, half Miami team left. So it was a different team the next year. It wasn't
again.
They want 1-year contracts.
Baby is a LeBron hater, y'all.
I'm not a LeBron hater.
He's a LeBron
hater. is Mike first.
Why Mike gotta be first?
Because
I think LeBron is first.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. I can understand why people say that. But to me, it's Mike first, Kareem, Kobe, LeBron.
Yeah. He a LeBron here, y'all.
Okay. Anyway.
He been okay. So look,
I was bored. Did you tag me?
We're supposed to be on our anniversary celebration, right? But he been on Facebook.
Man, I know. First, no. Don't do that. Don't do that because I had 4 hours of sleep in 48 hours.
But
she made me drive.
You have to get on Facebook.
But I was doing that in the car while you were asleep. Okay, I was trying to stay awake, not to kill us.
No, we're a little late right now because he was yapping about LeBron and Michael Jordan.
First of all, see, she's
LeBron.
What happened? LeBron, this is what we just randomly talking. What happened was I had 6 hours of sleep in 48 hours, and I was texting while driving, trying to stay up because she made me drive.
Kill us now.
You would sleep anyway. If we had died, you would have knew you had already been asleep. But what I'm saying is, I was trying to stay up.
Soul in purgatory or something. Okay, so anyway, we are on our anniversary celebration trip. Our anniversary is actually Monday, the official date. So I know people are probably confused because we celebrated an anniversary in July, but we got married on September 11th, 2021. That's when we actually officially were married. And then we had our ceremony in July. So we had our ceremony July 2nd of 2022. So we celebrate both of them. They're both considered anniversaries to us. So that's what we do. We celebrate both. So that's why it looks like we have to. But you all can wish us happy anniversary because it's our real anniversary, like married, for real married anniversary coming up on Monday.
Yep, and what we're gonna we was gonna do a host of other things, but because of the circumstances that happened prior, as far as with mom and everything, we decided to try to keep it simple this year, and I guess we agreed to this. I don't know if we really agreed to it, but we did. No, I'm talking about the vision board thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we created a vision board, so we're gonna take a week and focus on
doing what we had on our vision
board and try to figure out how to accomplish these things. So while we're celebrating our anniversary, to me, and we didn't discuss this. Mm-hmm. It's actually more of a bonding type thing
It
too,
is.
because when you think about it, because now we get to actually sit down and do certain things on our vision board and try to figure out how to complete everything on the vision board,
Right.
and we actually have time for us.
Yeah.
So
So we teaching him how to cook.
first of all, I know how to cook, so you're gonna stop saying that. I put it like this: I can cook for me.
I don't
If
think
I was,
hot
if I,
dogs.
if
Baby, you know you don't because okay, look, I had him.
did you like the steak?
I
Did
had
you
him
like
try
the
to put some
steak?
eggs, y'all. In
Ooh,
what about them eggs?
what about my
I
eggs?
tried to have him put some eggs.
What about my eggs?
And I ain't gonna say about when I had him cooking for mom. I was like, babe, but you did a good job.
Mom loved my coffee, and she loved my oatmeal. You dudes, I almost said the N word. She told me I made the best coffee, and she wasn't eating the oatmeal. Because when we got there, Mom was like, "I don't eat no oatmeal. I don't like this oatmeal." Da da da. But when Jermaine made the oatmeal, Mom ate it.
His first batch of oatmeal though with y'all was crazy. He was like all thick, and you remember that? Don't do that.
That was grits, wasn't it?
No, it was oatmeal.
Oh.
Yeah, he was struggling. And then one time he put some eggs. I told him to make them in the microwave, and he just
Yeah, I don't know how to make eggs in the mic. I didn't even know you could make eggs.
Scrambled eggs in the microwave.
Dude,
Oh my
I didn't
God.
even know that you could put oodles and noodles in the microwave.
How you gonna do that?
Put them in a pot and boil them.
You know boil water?
We're about to be celebrating. It's gonna go from an anniversary to a separation. She keep that on. She been harassed. Boy, put that hat back on. She been talking crap to me all day.
But anyway,
So-
that's what we got planned. So we're gonna do cooking, and then we have some little games we're gonna play together.
I didn't know nothing about that. She just made that up.
We got some games we're gonna do it together. They're called Adventure Challenge. So we're gonna do some Adventure Challenge games. What else we got planned? He's gonna fish.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fish with him because that's on our vision
what you gonna
board.
go get a real rod?
Yeah.
I got $8 on it. What's up?
Okay, so I'm gonna go fish with him, and then we're gonna work on just other stuff like some certification type stuff. Talk about our business plan.
We need to start that tomorrow.
Yeah,
As far as like the certifications and stuff.
right. So we're doing all that.
Well, at least by Saturday.
And so this is going to be very chill, relaxing. We're in Florida, so that's
Kissing
where
me.
we're at in
Kissing
Florida.
me, kissing me, baby, kissing me.
Mwah.
That's
Kiss me,
corny.
Florida. It's so corny.
Shut up.
But we're in a pretty decent, nice place.
It's
Vacation
actually
home.
It's actually like our house because the lake is
Yeah.
like literally. I mean, at our house, the lake is a lot closer. I just told her that we're sitting on the balcony looking at the lake, and I'm like, I want to go out here to the water, but that's like a walk. Like for me, and I mean it's literally like right there. But at the house, I walk out the back door, I can throw my fishing reel in the water. So this is a little bit different. It's probably say from the house to our house to the lake is probably about what 20 steps.
Mhm.
For me to come from this house, this vacation house, to the lake, it's probably about 45.
It has a weight room and everything, so we're gonna work out. So just kind of do a bunch
And
of
we
stuff.
can't drink.
And we can't drink. Neither one of us have had. Well, have you had liquor?
I had a beer. I had one.
He did
beer.
have a beer. I haven't had anything since June.
Oh, and I had the wrong wine by
And he
accident.
drank the wrong wine, but otherwise, it's been pretty much alcohol free. But guess what? Orlando has the first. Well, here in Orlando, I guess in Florida, they have the first non-alcoholic bar.
That's what you sent me.
Yeah,
That's what that was?
and it has like a really extensive menu of various drinks that are non-alcoholic. Now, some of them have CBD in them instead of the alcohol. I don't think I might stay away from those, but they have like a whole menu. You have to make a reservation because it's like you can go in and you can sit down, or you can go outside, or you can order to go. But because the menu is so big, I want to kind of go in there. They have a thing where they do shots, and they're free, like a tasting thing. The bartender gives you like these shots of non-alcoholic
We're gonna
drinks.
drink fake liquor
We're
and
gonna
act
drink
fake
fake
drunk.
liquor. Yes, we're gonna have a good time. Have a good time. So I think that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually looking forward to this. Me and this dude do that. We could do nothing and have the most wonderful time. At least I can with her. I don't know how she feels. Have the most wonderful time with one another.
Right, exactly.
So
that's what we're planning on doing. So,
and we definitely Wednesday. Because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Wednesday, and we may do it Sunday depending on what happens. We'll update because we did bring our book. We'll get back on that. We keep running into little obstacles and things like that where we can't because we was trying to get ready to come down here and I don't know, but we're gonna get back on it.
Yes,
We are more consistent than we were before, though.
yes, we are. But there's a couple of things that we can talk about real quick that I think are interesting topics because I just saw this video where this lady was saying, well, okay, I don't agree why she broke up with her boyfriend or whatever, but she broke up with him because she said he wasn't making any money, right? So I don't necessarily agree with that aspect of it. Like, why would you break up with somebody because they're not making money? The part that I disagree with is that the guy that she was talking to was telling her, like, well, why didn't you? She was like saying all these things that he didn't have, right? Or whatever he was wanting to accomplish, but he didn't have in place. And the guy was like, well, why didn't you help him get his license? And why didn't you do this for him? And why didn't you do that for her, for him? And why didn't you motivate him to do this? And why didn't you motivate him to do that? So the question is that our responsibility though? Is because you see this all the time and you hear this. It's almost kind of what we were talking about earlier today, but you hear about this all the time. Like, is it the woman's responsibility in a relationship to be the one always motivating the man, to be the one pushing him to do what he needs to do, or do women have I don't want to say have that right, but is it not wrong for them to say, hey, I don't want to have to do all that with someone. I don't want to have to help someone accomplish all that. I don't want to have to push somebody, be their motivation. I would like them to be motivated themselves enough to do it on their own. So you.
I feel the same as the conversation that that we had on the way down here. I believe that well, first of all, I don't agree with her breaking up because he wasn't making enough money.
Yeah,
I would like to know where he was at when she met him. Number one, because if he was right there when she met him, obviously that's where he was at, right?
Right.
Now, if he sold her dreams and ambitions and wasn't following through on those or wasn't showing no effort trying to get to him, then I kind of can understand. Because if she's trying to go here and he want to stay stagnant,
and that's what she's saying, she's in her career and she's,
and if he's not attempting to do better, and you know how I feel about that do better thing. But if he's, because you could be working at McDonald's and your goal is to be a general manager,
Right.
But if you're working at McDonald's and the positions are coming up to be an assistant manager and then and managers, and you're not applying for those positions, then you can't say that I'm trying to achieve those goals, because at that point, if I tell you that's what I'm trying to achieve, and then when those positions come up, I don't do anything to try to get there or get to that level. Okay, so you went on the aspect of, okay, this was my goal and this is what I'm trying to do to get there. So if I'd have told you I just wanted to be a McDonald's worker the rest of my life, then maybe you would have been like, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with that. But if I tell you my goal is to be a district manager and own a chain of McDonald's, then it's like, okay, well, you know, I see that he has ambition, or he's trying to do this, that, and the third, and want to do that. And, you know, you may be okay with me making $4 an hour, whatever it is.
Right.
Because, you know, I have goals to be better. But if I continue on making $4 an hour, then I can see why somebody would like, yeah, I'm not about to do that.
Yeah, because the guy was like, a woman is supposed to be a man's helpmate. And I get that part, but
you supposed
there's
to
a line that has to be drawn, though. Like, there's a difference between being a helpmate and just be the person that's doing everything for them. Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree. And so that's what I had said earlier too. But as like me personally, I don't see how guys, what I said earlier was this. I don't see how we as men, how they say, you know, what we was talking about, how men allow women to get there and then leave. I mean, women help men get to a certain standard and then the men leave. I don't see how men are okay with that. Because why don't you get there before, you know, you actually try to start to start dating or marry somebody?
Right.
Now I get it, you know, once you get together and things happen, yeah, but for somebody to just rely on somebody to get there and leave them, it's like, that's kind of screwed up to me.
Right. Somebody had said, she said, Why does he need help? Where's his initiative, his drive, his
Right.
motivation? As women, we have to find it and push ourselves. It's like men always need her to push or help him when he's supposed to be the leader, the man with the plan. These days, men want women to come up with a vision, create the plan, and then force him to execute it.
I also, what I didn't say to you in the car is I don't even know how we got to that stereotype came,
Mhm.
because like similar to what she said, if the men supposed to be the leaders or whatever,
Mhm.
how did we get to the point of the narrative of or how did women become so much more of quote unquote the leaders of the household or
Right, that
of
role
the,
reversal.
yeah, how did that happen? How did women because when that if that narrative is correct and guys are doing that to women, then to me that says women are way stronger than men. And when I say strong, I'm talking about falls like uh, uh, they're more motivated and they're more
Hmm.
go-getters than men. So how did we get to that if men supposed to quote unquote be the lead, the what is it, head of the
Head
household
of the
or
household.
also?
Yeah, you're
So
right.
how did we get to that narrative? And then how are we as men okay with that? Again, I'm okay with, I'm here in my career, you're there in my career, and I get knocked down, and you having as your partner having to help me.
Right.
I'm okay with that. Uh versus the narrative, like that's why when them dudes was like, oh, he gonna get what he want from you and then this that and the third, right?
Hmm.
My first response, I came back with like, dude, do you know how much money I make? Because that's insulting to me.
Right, right, right.
That for me, that's insulting for somebody to think that because whatever you make, I'm trying to use you to get something. No, I make what I make and I'm good. Like that's insulting for me.
Right.
um I just I don't see how men are okay with that. And that's not me trying to be what they call it, that pick me or
Yeah.
tell 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 the game. We're like, nah, that's just I don't understand how men are okay with that.
I don't either, and then still want to be like claim they're the leader and the head of the household. But I don't understand how they also can expect women to feel comfortable with allowing them to lead if you can't even do that. If you have no initiative to push yourself to do whatever you need to do to get to where you want to go to, then how then are we supposed to rely on you? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
It just it doesn't. And then it's like the whole aspect of I don't know. I don't know where that expectation come from, and it's just different because, like you said, then you got the whole aspect of then a woman actually doing that, and then you got the man who leave, who get built up, and then he leaves because she was only a placeholder anyway for him.
Dude, that's right. I'm sorry. That's right beside the Harris where I was saying let's
I
stay at.
told you
That's
it's flooding.
yeah, that's the Ferris wheel that we were on.
He's watching Vegas flood on TV.
I don't know. I'm sorry. And I got another subject too.
But yeah, so that's what we were talking about. Like that's just crazy. I don't understand how men are comfortable with that, or why they expect that from women. And I don't understand why other women are trying to tell women that that's what they're supposed to be doing because that's not true. And I don't even know where they got that from. That's something that's generationally, I think, came from um, um, how our family dynamics got messed up during slavery and Jim Crow and all that type of stuff because apparently everything just got messed up. And I remember reading before where they talked about how the men had to leave to go to work and the women were having to take care of the household. And then you got where you had the government services come in. And if a woman was on government service, she couldn't necessarily have the man in the house because then they would cut the benefits. And so all that stuff contributing to how this family dynamic got kind of topsy-turvy. But the fact that men are still believing that right now today is just I don't know. Is it from mothers treating them like that, like they're incapable?
Mm, I don't. So it goes like you said earlier that, or I don't know if it was earlier, but we were talking about, or we were reading it or something about how men sometimes date women that kind of remind them of
Or
their
their
mothers.
mothers, yeah.
To me, I get what people say about that, but I don't. It's kind of sickening.
No, it's not.
That like to me it is like I
If
don't
you
when I say
know-
I'm not talking about in a perverted way. What I'm
Right.
saying is like when I think of my mother, I think of someone that's of course caring and nurturing
Right.
and things like that, right? But I don't want a woman to be, to me, when you think of your mother caring and nurturing for you, that's different than how you would want your wife to care and nurture for you.
No, but what I think what they mean by when they say men date women women that are like remind them of their mother. I think it's going deeper than it's talking about characteristics of their mother, and that's fine.
I would never date nobody characteristics of my mother.
It depends on the relationship, because not every man had a mother that coddled them. Do you get what I'm saying? So for some men, it could be, oh, she's the type of woman that I know I got to be on my A game with, because that's how my mom was. She didn't take no it off of nobody. You get what I'm saying? And that's the type of women that men are attracted to, because their mom was like that. And so that makes sense. The same way some women date men that are like their father. They have characteristics. If they thought of their father as a guy that was strong, that protected them, then why would they not want to date a man that they feel, not like you're looking at the man like your father, but it's just like, of course you want somebody who's going to be strong and protective. Baby. But it's the same way as how you look at your parents' marriage and you bring those similarities into your marriage. It's the positive things. Some people bring negative things too, but it's the same concept.
Well, yeah,
it's not the Oedipus complex at all. That's something totally different when people do Oedipus complex.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, well, I want to ask you first. I know I just thought about it as we was talking. Mm-hmm. The conversation that we had. This is going to be kind of personal, so if you want to talk about it, fine. The conversation that we was having, like I told you, what I'm trying to get over as far as the breadwinner and whoever makes the most have the final say, so that type of thing. Mm-hmm. You want to discuss that?
That's fine.
All right, so here's the thing, right? I have this thing. We had this conversation yesterday, and I don't know how to get over it. While I see the point, I still, because of how I was raised, I see her point, and I don't know how to get over this. So I believe that the breadwinner of the marriage, relationship, whatever, has the final say so. When something happens, as far as whatever it is, like decision making around the house with bills, whatever. I think that the other person's input is very well welcome and needed, and should be discussed together to come up with the best resolution for the whatever the issue is that you're talking about. If it's a bill, if it's buying a car, where you want to stay, yada yada yada. It definitely should be discussed in detail, right? But it's sort of like the court thing that I went through with Bailey, and how they say in the custody hearing, if the decision it can't come up with, then the mother get the final say so.
Right.
I didn't make that point the other day. That just popped in my head. Right. But I think I can make a parallel with that. So if you and I are going back and forth on something about maybe we want that clock versus that clock. This clock look better, but you want that clock, and at the end of the day, we stuck. Then I think because you're the breadwinner, you should have the final say so. So
I don't think it has anything to do with breadwinner.
So that's what and I get her point, because I get it, because she's like she is, and that's how it should be. Honestly, I guess that's how it should be. I'll say it this way. I can see why that's ideal and how it should be. It's our money. Everything is ours, right? And I think this probably something to play part into it too, because I've seen this years and years ago. It's always ours until a divorce. I'm not saying we're going to get a divorce, but until a divorce happens, then it's like, okay, well, I want half of that. Then it's like, no, that's mine. I did this, I did that to get that. And that's why those divorces could become like that. At that point, now it's yours. Right. While we together, it was ours.
Right.
So I think that's where that kind of get a little bit, we prefer to be the word, get twisted a little bit, because for me, because like, if I go into the mindset of this is ours, this is ours, this is ours, this is ours, but you've been the breadwinner and buying and paying and doing everything, when we split up, well, don't change up now. It's ours. So give me half of it.
No,
Now,
but
I'm not talking about
yeah, but I
us,
get
what
that.
I'm
But that's
saying.
where the whole concept of equitable distribution comes from. That's where they came up
But
with
I
the
don't know.
court.
But I
The
don't
court
know
is
if that,
like
I don't
everything
believe
is
that's necessarily fair.
It is. Everything is because you're moving as one. You're one unit. I'm not naive to know that there's going to be stalemates in times where people don't agree. But what I would think people would do that's in a marriage that's moving as one is coming to up with an agreement. Okay, if we ever get to the point where we at a deadlock and we're not agreeing on who should make the final decision, then we draw straws or we toss a coin, or you get, if it's an odd day, you get to make decisions, that type of, or if you did it the last time, made the final say the last time, then I make the final say this time. It has nothing, it shouldn't have anything to do with who has the most money or who's making the most money or who's contributing the most. Shouldn't have any type of play in it at all.
Yeah. So
Tell me
that's
something you both agree with. We're gonna roll a die, and see who would call out a number. Are we gonna see who's close to the number that calls out and they get to make the decision?
that sounds so nice until crap happens.
No, it's yeah, but it's nice if people are. So that's the whole point of being on one accord, though. Jermaine, that's why people are supposed to work towards always being on one accord with each other. Because when you're like that, then it won't. And then if you on one accord, then most of the time you would know, like, okay, depending on what we're disagreeing about, even if she wins the disagreement, she's probably gonna do what I asked because it's something that really matters to me, and I should know the same about you. Like, even if he wins this toss up, he's probably gonna lean more to what I'm saying because I know that he wants to make me smile. Or he wants to make me happy.
But that's what I just said in the call yesterday.
No, but but that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that this decision has nothing to do with the breadwinner, though. The bread, that doesn't mean that just because you're the breadwinner, you get the final say. Y'all agree on a way to come up with the resolutions. And the reason why I'm saying that shouldn't become nasty is because you should know that whatever decision you make, you're not doing opposite. Even if you did opposite, you're not doing the opposite to get back at me. You're not doing opposite because I wanted it this way. So now you just, because you won the toss up, you're gonna just purposely do it the way you want to do it. I should trust you enough to know that, and love you enough to know that. We should be on one accord enough to know that. That's what I'm saying. So it should never get ugly.
Well, I agree. I definitely agree with that. But I don't think it always happens like that. And I ain't talking about with just us or with us.
But what people know, because most people aren't on one accord in their marriage. That's why we have marriages. People getting divorced at the rate they're getting divorced. People saying because they feel obligated.
I think
that's what we having all of that going on.
Ooh, that's a good topic too. That obligation thing we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But I think the reason people are getting divorced like that also is because, and I could say that I could have fell in that category if I wasn't willing to change my mindset or was trying not to change. Because I think that people don't take, like me the first time, I didn't take my vows serious. Marriage was just marriage. Other friends was married. Everybody was talking about their wives, and it just came up. For me, it became a trend, a thing to do because everybody else had wives, and they come out, oh, I gotta ask my wife. So, and I think it's a lot of people that may not necessarily be doing it like exactly how I said I did it, but because let's just get married and not understanding, because I didn't understand the work that it takes to have a successful marriage. But what happened was I said this time that I was going to take my vows seriously. So by me acknowledging that I have to take them serious, to me that says that whatever comes with it, I have to be willing to try to put in the work to do. Because I'm, if I'm going to say I'm going to take it serious, then I'm going to take, just like I told you about, those classes or whatever. For the first time in my life, I said I was going to do something, and I meant that I was going to do it. So I have to see it through and do the best that I can out of it. So it's the same thing with me saying I'm taking my vows serious. So I have to see it through and give it 139,000% of everything in me.
Right.
No matter the cost, to try to make it work or to have a successful marriage. And I don't think when people get married, they are willing to take their vows go to the depth of the end of that means for better or for worse, and I'm going to stick it out and we're going to work on it and yada yada yada. I
Mhm.
think too many times people, they get married because, as I always say, the goal is not to get married, is to stay married.
It is, and the funny thing, so there was a lady that I follow on Facebook, and I'm not gonna quote her because I don't want to misquote her, but what I got from what she was saying is that if you a person who wants to be who knows you want to eventually be married, you should start preparing to be married or preparing to be a married person, even before you start dating someone. Like you should
What
start
does that
working.
mean?
So like basically, you should start understanding what it means to move as one, understanding what it means to have to be in a married life before you even start that process, before you even get to the point where you with somebody and you fall in love and then y'all decide to get married, which makes sense because if you can't sit there as a single person and say, yeah, eventually I want to be married, so I know that I need to tailor my sexual expeditions or I need to get out of the habit of just running the streets and blah 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 blah. And if you start working on that, gloves.
Who the hell is
Oh, put
that?
on boxing gloves.
Oh,
But if you start working towards that before you even get in a relationship, then you're putting yourself in the mindset of a married person already.
I never even thought about that aspect of it.
Yeah, and that makes sense when you think about it. You're already preparing yourself for the role of a married husband or of a wife. When you should already be preparing yourself for that role. And I agree.
So then, I think a lot of questions that people should ask themselves when they say, I want to be married. What does I want to be married actually look like and mean?
Right.
And again, that's something that most people, I definitely never would have thought about. Even, I'm gonna tell y'all some, because I told Zorana this. I think she's learning this about me even more and more daily. That for whatever the reason is, I think total opposite of the world, because I've always wanted to be different. When I say different, like I want to think different and be different than other people.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was out there being a dog and cheating and all of that, I wanted to cheat better and differently than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So if a guy tell you, "Hey, beautiful," and I know that works, I wanted to not necessarily say, "Hey, beautiful." I wanted to add other things to it to make me look more,
To stand out.
yeah, to stand out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I said all of that to say, I literally thought, and I told you this last week, I think it was, I literally thought, getting married, if I wasn't doing the things that I was doing before, cheating and running the streets and this, that, and the third, and respecting you, then everything else would take care of itself. I never knew like what marriage looked like. I never knew, because a lot of times you understand, uh, even with you, what you told me about, with moms and your pops, certain things
Mm-hmm.
that you saw, could have been kind of traumatizing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like with me, mine, I think, I don't want to say mine was worse, but mine was kind of drastic. I don't want to tell your business, I tell mine, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But how my moms and pops went back and forth, that's what I seen of a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then other people that my uncle, my aunt and her husband, same type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I seen. So I started developing now my grandmother and my grandfather was together all the time. For forever. But I started to develop in a negative connotation towards marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see in the media how everybody getting divorced and the woman taking half
Mm-hmm.
and yada yada. So you start gaining a negative mindset towards marriage. And the things that I seen from some of my friends was them cheating on their wives and sleeping with their kids' mother. So I was like, okay, well, if I don't do none of that, then my marriage should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And from the things that I did, so
Mm-hmm.
it became a little bit. I still didn't understand what being married was.
Right.
Basically, what I said all that to say, if you don't see what a positive marriage look like,
It's hard for you to, yeah.
to even grasp the idea. What I will say, one thing that I can say that I think that I believe is right, and we for the most part try to do it, is any disagreement or arguments we have, I don't like for the kids to hear it,
Right.
because you never know how that could affect
The
them.
kid, yeah.
So I think that's definitely right. What I try to
I
instill
think it is
in
too.
that. It's hard to do
And the kids
because
shouldn't be involved in them.
yeah, and that's another thing.
Yeah, it
So-
shouldn't be going to the kid because sometimes we have a tendency to say too much. to kids, not realizing at the time that they're going to hold on to stuff more than we do. It's almost like, certain things about your relationships and your marriage you don't necessarily say to your friends. And that's why I encourage people to go through marriage coaching and marriage counseling and stuff, because some things you don't say to your friends and your family, because they're going to automatically have a biased idea. And it may be you just feeling a certain way at a certain time. You're saying it to vent. The person really not like that deep down, or y'all come to an understanding later on. It's like, okay, well, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But now you done already told them. So even if you go back and change it with them, they're going to still be thinking like, oh, they're going to either think you dumb. Oh, she's dumb. She lives anything he say, he really meant it that way. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. So you don't want them involved in all of it like that to that extent, especially when y'all have an argument.
50 Cent said this about when Birdman and Lil Wayne, I told you this, Birdman and Lil Wayne fell out. Mm-hmm. He kept telling everybody, y'all stay out of it. Y'all stay out of it, because they're going to circle back around. And when you voice your opinion on it, when you go public and say Birdman did Wayne like this, that, and the third, and Birdman messed up for this, that, and the third, when they circle back around and fix it, now you're out on that island.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now you're out on that island because you done said this about that person,
yep.
And then they didn't fix their relationship. So now your relationship become awkward with that person that you thought you were speaking up with, yep. Because they're cool with the person that, yep. They were beefing with.
Exactly.
So, it's
and that's very true. I remember my mom used to say, "No, don't come to me and tell me anything that blah, blah, blah." I'd be like, "What?" Okay. She would accept. I could talk to her about it in more in an abstract way, but I couldn't go and like, even my first marriage, I couldn't go and just be like, "Hey, he blah 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 blah," and this and this, like she wouldn't let me do that. She was like, "No."
So I gotta tell y'all, I gotta interrupt. That's my man. I told you been married since we was like 19.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this, man. I respect you. I mean, I've always respect you. You my brother, but I respect you now being married as long as you have now and doing it at a young age. And you already know how I used to act or whatever, but that's very commendable, man. And I appreciate having you around because I talk about you a lot. I brag about you a lot about, and I know we don't talk every day, every blue moon, but I brag about you and your marriage a lot. While I was out there doing that crazy stuff, you were being a husband. You were being, a man, right? So I appreciate you, bro. Yeah. But anyway.
But and the interesting thing is, like, I think I remember telling you a few times when you kept saying, like, as long as there's no cheating, we good. And I was like, well, Jermaine, there's more things that go on in a marriage other than cheating. And he was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, no, long as we ain't cheating, no, we good.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of my problems came from. That's where all my problems came from.
And that's what you do. You marry your best friend.
Well, I can't stand her. I'm just playing.
I just posted something just not too long ago where it said, like I can't quote it. I forgot. I'm not looking at it, but it said something like, "You hate to."
I love you, bro.
You hate getting in an argument with your significant other because it's like, come on now, bro. You my best. You my only friend. Yeah. Like, don't make me mad. You my best friend, and that's how I be feeling sometimes when Jermaine and I have our little arguments or little spats, and it's kind of like, okay, well, who I'm supposed to be talking to now? Because I ain't gonna like talk to because. Yeah, when you marry your best friend, that does make it easier. It makes it easy, and that's kind of what we were talking about before. Like, a lot of these people are marrying people that they're not their best friend. They're marrying people that they're not truly in love with, but they're marrying somebody that they maybe feel obligated to, or marry somebody that they was maybe pressured because the person's like, okay, we've been together for this many years. When we're gonna get married? When we gonna get married? So that's why they get married, and that's just not a good foundation to have. Not for something that you want to last or to be sustainable.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm the fun part about it is, for me, it's a learning experience. I'm still learning. I think I'm doing decent, pretty good actually. I'm doing pretty well actually compared to what I used to be. Certain things you have to let go. Certain behaviors it's a certain mindset that it took me 40 years to obtain, to even come to the ideology of trying to make a marriage or understand what it takes to make a marriage work.
Mm-hmm.
So going into this second year again, I love you and I appreciate you. Thank
I love
you.
you.
Get on my
more.
damn nerve, but whatever.
Shut up.
But
yeah,
that's pretty much all I gotta say.
Me too. So it's not gonna. We didn't expect to be on here even as long as we were, but we definitely be back Wednesday, and then I'll go live as we do whatever shenanigans we decide to get into. Because again, we don't have anything really planned. We kind of just gonna play it by ear. So
yeah, we here. Hope this damn hurricane don't come do nothing.
I don't even think Orlando gets it really bad.
I looked at the other storm that the Ida
Mhm.
whatever, how it showed that it hit. They get rain because it's that eye or the bands go all across it. I mean,
well, yeah, they get rain, but yeah, you know what we can do in rain, though.
So
rain is fun.
Yeah, baby.
Rain means good time.
Rain mean I'm going to sleep.
Whatever. So. But anyway, so now we're gonna go and we're supposed to binge on. We're gonna binge on Netflix or a series, some type of series. What?
You want to go to Walmart first, right quick?
We do have to go to Walmart. We did like typical. I'm so ashamed.
Negroes.
We did like black folks, y'all. We got here and we went straight to Walmart.
But luckily, you know what's crazy? They told us we couldn't check in to 4, so we got here like 2:30, right? So we was like, oh, let's go to Walmart right quick and waste an hour and a half. And we go in Walmart trying to waste an hour and a half, and we stay in there 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, let's go see, can we just go in anyway? And I pull out the parking lot, and while Walmart directly right across the street.
Yep.
So I went this way, came. I was like, wait a minute, this ain't the right place. I thought that thing said 3 miles away. So Walmart is literally like right across the street. So this is great.
This is great. So we got some last minute stuff to pick up from Walmart. Really, I can't remember. I made a list, but just a few things to get from Walmart. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna binge watch. What are we eating?
Eating.
Yeah.
I ain't really hungry no more. That chicken really got me.
Oh, you've been eating the chicken.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's probably nothing left.
Yeah, it's a little bit left.
See, that's enough. So what am I supposed to eat now?
You're going to Walmart.
Oh man, let me go give you an Atkins meal.
Hey, look, and it's hot as prostitute coochie down here.
Hey,
I didn't curse.
You can't say that.
Oh, coochie is not a curse word.
You can't say prostitute.
You can't say what? You can't say it.
Prostitute coochie. You can't say that a lie.
Okay, well, it's hotter than prostitute's vaginal.
No, you can't say
holes.
anything about prostitute in anything like that.
It's not curse words.
No, that's not. It's hotter than.
It's hot as the Dickens. I never understood what that meant either.
But
the Dickens.
I don't either. Actually, we should look up.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna look up what how that means. Anyway, so
catch us next week. We celebrate.
No, I'm gonna do snippets. Don't listen to him. I'm gonna do snippets of. I just said when we go out, do our stuff. I'm gonna go live back and forth, y'all.
Oh, okay.
Do the snippets. I'm gonna show y'all him sleeping again.
No,
take another picture.
She do that again. We're gonna be celebrating separation.
Him sleeping and everything on the couch when we're supposed to be vacationing.
Yeah, she caught me sleeping, and after I had 5 hours of sleep in 2 days, and then she made me drive 8.5 hours down.
It was all his fault.
Oh, okay.
Nobody told you to stay up.
I was trying to work.
No, and then when he had the opportunity to sleep, he went down there and got on his game like.
No, I just woke up. I thought we was
going to leave. Man cave and went and got on the game.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that, buddy. How's she gonna get me a man cave? She gonna make me a little man cave, right? Got my New York Giants stuff all up in the room. I took my PlayStation down there, and this woman gonna sit there and tell me, I didn't know you was gonna spend your time down there. You been down there all of this time. What in the hell is it for? When I'm upstairs, because when I'm upstairs, she the only person I know. Her and our kids, the only person I know is 95 degrees. They turn the heat on in this house.
We don't turn the heat on. Don't
turn the dang on lock.
We don't turn the heat on. We turn the air off.
In 95-degree weather.
He has it on Arctic.
I have it on 75.
It doesn't have to be freezing in the house.
75 is not freezing.
I told you I have issues. So he gonna blame my issues. I have health issues with my sinuses.
And I have health issues when it comes to breathing in hot air.
You can breathe perfectly fine. You're not
like this. I sound like Biggie.
No, he exaggerating. So, but my point is, okay, yeah, you have a man cave, but you're not supposed to. So this is what he's trying to do. He has a man cave. He's trying to be down
I come
there
upstairs,
from
have
the
sex with
morning
her.
time
Nope.
to
I come
10
upstairs
o'clock
with
at
her,
night.
have sex with her,
and
and I
then-
go downstairs.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it's either that or I'll be running the streets.
Don't get slapped. Now you
I'm
talking
just
about,
saying,
now you
like,
talking about the crazy people.
I'm just saying. So
No, how about we take?
go? Well,
You ain't gonna run the streets because when you didn't have no man cave, you didn't run the streets.
That's so I did. So how you gonna give me something and don't want me to use it?
I didn't say you're gonna use it.
You wouldn't spend all that.
Everything is balanced.
There ain't no balance. Look, I'm in the house. All you got to do is what you do, babe. What? Come here. Which I don't feel like coming upstairs, but I'm in the house.
Everything's about balance. Your man doesn't.
We have a
understand
lake.
balance
Look, we have a lake 15 steps away from the house, and she don't want me to fish.
yet. Now
She say I fish. She gonna say I fish too much, and I only fish 2 hours a day. You don't even fishing
why
don't
you
even
gonna
get good until like the third or
Why you
fourth
gonna tell
hour.
that story? No, he gets up in the morning. He's supposed to go work
From
out with
7
me.
to 9.
He's supposed to go work out with me in the morning. He won't get up to work out, but he'll get up to go to the lake to fish.
Okay,
So
so
he'll fish for 2 hours. Then he comes back in the house. The only time he come back in the house is when he's like probably hungry or something because he's like, oh, I'm gonna eat. So then he'll eat. Then he'll go back out there and fish again.
no, that's not true.
Then he'll come back in.
Then I'll go Uber,
half the time-
Uber or Lyft.
Half the time I don't even know he's in the house because he'll be in his man cave. I'm like, where you at?
That's a damn lie. I just started going down there. I literally just started going down there last week and a half.
He be in his man
I'm saying
cave.
it work.
He be,
I need a drink, and we don't even drink.
he'll be in his man cave.
Oh, this
And
is
I'm like, what are
incredible.
you doing? Like, why are you in your man cave? So then
Yo.
he'll stay in there till it's dinner time, right? And then like half time he'll get his plate and try to take his plate back down and eat in the man cave. Like, who does that? So
First
then
of
he
all,
wants
you
to
bring
eat
it
in the
down there
man
to me,
cave.
so stop it.
He'll eat his plate in the man cave. Then he wants to come upstairs at 10 o'clock at night.
Man, I'm getting ready to go. Let's go Walmart. Walmart about to close anyway.
So I said balance. He needs some type of balance. That's
the balance is I don't go nowhere. All I do is fish, hang out with you, walk, run.
no, because you're not even hanging out with me no more. You fishing and you hanging out in your man cave.
Where would you? Well, no, don't come down there.
Yeah, well, I'm start coming down there
No,
then.
don't do that.
Sit
Anyway,
down there and bug you.
all right.
All right,
Then
so
then I'm gonna tear all that shit up. And knock the TV over, pull the stickers off the wall. You already took the damn one that I said was my man cave anyway.
What?
Your office.
Yeah, because I'm working.
Okay, so you should make that my man cave and then make that room your office. That would be
No,
better.
you definitely don't need a
see
man
that
cave that
bullshit?
big.
You see that? That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there.
All right, bye, y'all. We go.
Mwah.
Have a good evening.
Yep. Peace, love, and Afro Grease.